guys, and welcome again to the Girl with the Shovel. Today we are going to be talking about the aglaonema, or Chinese Evergreen, and what it takes to keep these guys alive. To start off, I wanted to show you a few of the varieties of this amazing plant. First we have Silver Bay, then Silver Queen, then Siam Aurora, Siam Pink, Red Siam, Emerald Beauty, also called Maria, Snow White, Red Ruby, White Edge, Stripes, Pink Panama, Lipstick, Silverado, Pink Lady, also called Sweetheart, Frozen, Pink Dalmatian, also called Pink Beauty, Brilliant, and to top it off, the Queen of Siam. So this genus has an incredible amount of different variations and different looks. So leave a note in the comments below which ones are your favorite, which ones you're going to add to your list this year, and which ones maybe you have around the house. First off, we have light requirements. So to start off, a lot of times people say that this is a low light plant. Now, it is, and it's not. So, a lot of times aglaonema, or Chinese Evergreen, can survive in low light levels. But you'll start getting a leggy plant. The leaves will come out and they won't be as big, the new leaves, and they won't be as variegated. Okay, and then all of your lower leaves, you'll start to lose them. So you'll start to get a big stem at the bottom, and it will just kind of start looking leggy overall. Now I know these are a foliage plant, so you want to have as many leaves as possible. So I would suggest that you put it in at least medium light, or if you have a low light area that you want this, you buy 2 of them. And so then you can switch off, and so one of them will start growing, be in the low light for a few weeks, be back in the brighter light for a few weeks, and then you can switch them out so that they can still get some good light that they need to continue to push out these beautiful leaves. Now, I would not suggest putting these in any direct sunlight. Direct sunlight can really burn the leaves here. You'll get some white kind of translucent markings. They'll kind of start deepening down to a brown. That is a sunburn, and it is not pretty. It's not a good look. And then if you have variegated leaves, which most of these are variegated, meaning they have different markings, but if you have like brighter colors and such, instead of just the green, if you have like a pink or a red, those ones will tend to like more light than just the green ones. The green ones can handle a little bit lower light while still being a bit happier, but the other colors like a little bit more light. So either a medium or a bright indirect light. And then if your new growth is starting, like I said, to come out really small, or you know, the variegation is just really green, that's a sign of it not getting enough light. So you'll definitely want to move those into a brighter location. Next is watering. As for watering, aglaonema tend to like to be a little bit more on the moist side. But a lot of times indoors, people think that that means watering it all the time, even when it's in low light. That's the key. If it's in low light, I've seen these guys really suffer from overwatering issues. The leaf will start getting yellow and mushy, and that's your first sign that you need to stop watering it so much. So in low light, let it dry out a little bit in between waterings. But if you have it in brighter light, then you definitely want to make sure that you keep it consistently moist and don't let it dry out so that it has the water it needs to produce these gorgeous leaves. Next is soil and potting. So a quick tip for aglaonemas is to keep the pot slightly smaller than the leaves. So I have the leaves out here, and I need to have the pot a little bit smaller than the width of the leaves. Okay, and now if you start having your aglaonemas push out to the sides of the pot because it's starting to grow outward more and produce more stems, then you can consider repotting it into either a larger pot or splitting it. And then as for soil requirements, they generally do well with regular houseplant soil. These guys aren't super picky. That's why they're on a lot of beginner-friendly houseplant lists. So I would just make sure that whatever soil you use, that it is well draining, because you want to make sure that the excess moisture, especially indoors and especially if you're in a lower light spot, you want to make sure that your soil drains well. And then if you would like to find out how to make your own DIY houseplant soil, you can check out my video where I gave you a great basic starter mix. And then next is fertilizer. Now, a lot of times fertilizer can do different things and we use it for different things. For this type of plant, it is a foliar plant. We want lots of leaves. So what gives us lots of leaf growth is nitrogen. Okay, so if you're using a fertilizer for this plant, which I recommend you should, but the fertilizer that you use should have a higher first number because that's the nitrogen number. So make sure that your nitrogen is a little bit higher in your fertilizer and it will definitely give you some great leaf growth. Now I have a good houseplant fertilizer that is specifically for foliage houseplants. I'll put the link in the description below for y'all. Okay, now I wanted to share with you a few quick bonus tips. First, I wanted to say that this plant is very beginner friendly. So if you're having issues with other houseplants, consider getting one of these. The only thing is make sure you have drainage holes, like I said, and put it in a medium light spot, and it should grow great for you. Next, if it's starting to lose its lower leaves, let me show you what I've got here. So this is my white edge, aglaonema. It's gorgeous, but as you can tell, the lower part has started to lose its leaves, okay? And this is because I've had it in low light and I just needed a good plant for this spot and I knew the aglaonema would be okay with it for a while. And it was. So now it's lost some of its lower branches, it's grown a little more leggy. So what I'm gonna do here is first I'm gonna repot it because it needs some fresh soil. I'm going to move it into a spot with a little bit more light so it can really shoot out some new growth. And third, I'm going to actually do some leaf tip propagation to help it grow some more leaves down below, as well as I'm going to cut a few of these off and then I'll replant them down lower to fill this pot out. Okay, so those are some things you can do if your aglaonema starts to look leggy. Like I said, this is a really big one here. But, oh, I love this just simple, elegant white edges and the white canes here down below. Oh, one of my favorite aglaonemas personally. And then for my last quick tip, I wanted to share that aglaonemas do well under plant lights, okay? Now they might still get a little leggy if that's all you have, but they do well. So if you don't have very much light in your space at all, then I would suggest maybe getting a plant light and supplementing that light. And once again, I'll put in a link in the description below to help you find some awesome plant lights that don't look bad. And then also consider checking out my website where I have a lot more tips and tricks and a lot more care instructions, as well as a more thorough list of all of the different varieties of aglaonema that you can find. I'm also going to be doing future videos on repotting and good soils for aglaonema, as well as propagation, so look forward to that. So make sure you hit that subscribe button, the notification bell, so you can see it when it comes up. And I will see you in the next video.